Morning. We've been harvesting our blueberries. I think we've had three harvests, and we put them in the freezer every time we harvest them to get enough blueberries to make a blueberry pie. I've got a recipe here that I picked up on YouTube. It's called Easy Blueberry Pie Recipe, and the channel is Preppy Kitchen. So if you want a real easy blueberry pie recipe, check that video out. Basically, we have 6 cups of blueberries. We froze ours, but you can use them fresh. We're going to add to that 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2/3 cup of sugar, 5 tablespoons of cornstarch, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and we'll have some butter that we're going to add on top. That's 2 tablespoons of butter cut up, and we'll do a little egg wash. I've got an egg in the back there mixed in with a couple of teaspoons of water that we'll cover the top of the pie crust with and sprinkle some sugar on there. And while we're going, we went ahead and we made our own pie crust, but I didn't want this video being like, I don't know, a couple hours long. So our pie crust that we made, it's a oil pie crust recipe. The video is, I got also off YouTube. It's called Super Easy Oil and Milk Pie Crust. And the channel is Bandana Grandma. Excuse me. And our pie crust recipe was 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Excuse me. 1 teaspoon of salt. A half a cup of vegetable oil, but we used sunflower oil. And a 1/4 cup to a half a cup of milk. You just mix all that together in a bowl, and it'll make a nice pie crust. Then we just rolled the disc up and put them in the refrigerator, and we got them out this morning and put them in the pie shell. Rolled them out and put them in the pie shell, and rolled them out and cut them into strips so we can make the topping. But we'll get to that in a few. So we're going to go ahead and mix this together. We've got our frozen blueberries here. And the recipe says if you're going to use frozen blueberries, make sure you keep them frozen, don't thaw them out. So there's 6 cups. That's 1. Okay. And to that, we're going to add our lemon juice. And this says 3 tablespoons. And if you have real lemons, that's better, but this is what we have, and I didn't feel like running to the store to buy 1 lemon. So we'll do 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then we'll use, this is a 2/3 cup of sugar. I've already pre-measured out. We'll sprinkle that in there. And then it calls for, wipe this tablespoon out. 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. And that's a thickener. It'll thicken up your pie. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So there's 5 of those guys. And then we want to do this cinnamon. Get the lid off of this. And it says add a half a teaspoon of cinnamons. You'll see. Get this off there. So we'll sprinkle in our half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And this is just some sugar that we're going to sprinkle over the top of the pie crust. And there's our egg wash. 1 egg, and I think about a half a teaspoon of water in there, and stir it up. And we'll just lay that right there. And we'll go ahead and get this stirred in. Down in the bottom there. Still seems a little dry, so I'm gonna add 1 more tablespoon of lemon juice. That might help that cornstarch bind to those berries a little better. Okay. Oops. That's one for the cats. Let me go ahead and get that while we're letting that. Alrighty then. Now you can see how that cornstarch and sugar is starting to stick to the berries. It's not a dry, very dry powder in the bottom. That's what we're wanting. Okay. Now I'm gonna let me move all this stuff out of the way so we can get that pie crust out here. I will need that on top of the pie. And here's our pie crust that we made earlier. It's the oil-based pie crust. And he was using a nice, thick glass pie pan on the video. But we just have a regular old pie pan. And this may actually be more than what that pie pan can handle. But, well, maybe not if I don't quit dropping these guys on the floor. All right. So, we're going to take this mixture and we'll just spoon it in there so that we get a lot of this stuff in the bottom. If I dump all that in there, then all those blueberries is probably going to fill that pie shell up. We'll just take our time. Try to get that cornstarch and that sugar from the bottom. I started to make this in a glass dish that we have that we make cobblers in. And maybe the next video, cooking video rather, will be of, we'll make either a blueberry cobbler or a blackberry cobbler. Our blackberries are starting to turn ripe. We've had a few of them getting ripe and out there on the vine. Well, I've lost about 4 or 5 berries. So we're going to load this guy up. Because I'm going to put this on a cookie sheet anyway. While I'm going, let me get this up before I step on it. Have a mess. So you can see we'll pat these berries down. I might be able to, well, we're going to go for it. It's probably going to make a mess, but I got a cookie sheet I'm going to set this on, so that'll be all right. So, let's see if it's picking it up. You can kind of see how full that guy is. That's what we want. So we'll mash them down a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and take that butter. It calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. And we'll just cut it up into pieces here. And we'll sprinkle that right on top of that pie. Try to get these pats of butter spread evenly all the way across there. My wife is usually the one that does the pies and cobblers, so bear with me. If you're a pie maker or a cobbler maker and I'm not doing something right, well, I guess that's just part of it. We're going to learn. I'm going to learn how to do this with you. Or if you got any suggestions in the comments on how I should do things different, feel free to post them. I'm sure I'm going to get a few, because I'm not a pie maker. So let me get that back in the refrigerator. And then here's the other pie crust I rolled out that we made. And we're going to try to get this onto there and make a lattice. This thing's falling apart on me, but it's going to be what it is. So if you're wanting to see a perfect pie, watch that fella's video, because this is by no means going to be perfect. So we'll lay that across there. I'm going to try to make some lattice here. Let me get a this might help get them to unstick. That's alright. We'll pinch that back together. Pinch that back together. Like I say, sorry to make all you pie makers out there cringe with the way I'm doing this. I swear I'm not trying to trigger you making this video. So, let me see. Should I lay one on the edge there? So I think it's every other one. We make this lattice or something, I believe. And I may goop this thing up. Let's see. Something like that. Lay that there. Something like that. Well, we're getting there, but it sure ain't looking good. So then we'll flip this guy, flip this guy. We'll lay that there. Flip this guy back over. Mash it back together. That guy back over. Well, we're slowly getting it, but my grandma wouldn't be happy at me right now if she saw this. That's a fact. We'll I've lost my train of thought here. Let me push that together. Fold that over. That over. At any rate, I don't do many pie videos, and you see why. Because I'm not a good pie maker. And it sure shows on this Frankenstein pie. So we're going to do this. And we'll flip that one back, flip that one back. Here's a little piece. We'll get there. I swear we will. Maybe one more here. Let's do that. Let's do that. And let's do this. We're going to eat this thing anyway, so it ain't going to matter how beautiful it is. I'm not trying to win no awards for a pie contest. So, pinch that off. Pinch that off. Pinch that off. Well, there we go. That's kind of, I guess that's kind of how not to do it. So, there's what it looks like, but it sure ain't pretty. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to mash this pie edges down. Pinch that off of there, and I'll put that back in the freezer. Have some pieces to start another pie. Maybe I can get some more practice. Since that's lost, we'll go like that. Doctor it up a little bit. So, mash it all down really well. Pinch this stuff off the edge. Gotta leave a little hole there. Fancy it up a little bit. Maybe add a little piece of dough right there where it broke on me. We'll add a little piece of dough right there, doctor it up a little bit. There we go. There's our Frankenstein. I missed that, didn't I? Well, too late. It is what it is. Like I say, if you want to see the good pie video, check out Preppy Kitchen's video. He can show you how to do this a lot better. And this, I'm going to set this over to the side, maybe put it back in the refrigerator to keep it cold. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe next time I'll just grow the blueberries and pick the blueberries and have my wife make the pie, because she's the pie maker, not me. But there you go. It's not bad looking. Okay, then we'll take this egg wash. Stir that up. We'll just put a little egg wash on there. Maybe I should start right here on the first one and go across there. Get that off the counter. So yeah, you guys that make pies every day, please be gentle in the comment section. Around the edge. I think I got them all. Okay, we'll call that done. Then we'll take some of this granulated sugar and just sprinkle all over the top. Of our Frankenstein pie, Frankenstein blueberry pie. Now you guys see why I don't do cooking videos, too many canning videos. And I'm probably adding way too much sugar too, but I got the sugar here and the sugar's going on it. So there we go. Not bad looking after you add all the stuff to it to kind of camouflage what I did to it. So, there we go. Now what we're going to do is put this in a 375 degree oven. They say if you're using a butter crust, you go 425 for 30 minutes and then cut the temperature down. But since this is an oil crust, he says 375 for about 50 minutes. You want to bake it in your oven. There we go. That's not bad looking. All you need is a cookie sheet to make it look a little better. So what we'll do is, I took this aluminum foil and cut out a piece about that long and folded it in half. And we're going to make a little tent for the edges here. Because the pies I have done, the edges want to brown a little faster And we'll just fold this in a little bit. The edges want to brown a little faster than the middle. So that should help with that. We'll put the Burger King crown on there. I've got it pre-set to 375. We'll put this bad boy in the middle rack. We'll put he says 50 minutes, so we'll go 45 just to check it. There we go. And we'll bring you back when she's done. Just hang on a few. Okay, we're back. We put our blueberry pie in a 375-degree oven for 45 minutes with an aluminum foil tint over it. We checked it at 45 minutes. It wasn't quite what we was after, so we let it go an extra 15 minutes at 375 with the tint on, the aluminum foil tint on. Then we took the aluminum foil tint off because the crust wasn't brown. And then we cooked it for an additional 20 minutes. So 1 hour and 20 minutes with our oven set at 375. The timer's about to go off. So we're getting ready to pull this guy out of the oven and let you see what it looks like. Just bear with me while I get this pie out of the oven. Cut this guy off. So there we go. There's our blueberry pie. Let's see if I can set this thing down. There's our blueberry pie. Cut this oven off. That we made from scratch. I do apologize again to all the professional bakers out there for my lattice work. Wasn't the best, but this thing looks delicious and it smells even better. Let me see if I can set this thing down without cutting the video off there. And what we'll do now, if I can get you a good close-up on that. What we'll do now is let this guy cool down. And then we'll maybe, if I don't cut this video off trying to do this, we're going to let this pie cool down now. Our homemade blueberry pie. And then I'm going to slice a piece out of it and let you see what it looks like. So bear with me. I'm going to try to pause the video right now. And I'll get back with you when this pie's cooled and we can slice a piece. Okay, we're back. This pie has cooled for almost an hour. I should probably let it cool for a little longer. But I'm ready to cut this guy, and you can see it's cool enough now that I can hold the pan. The pan's a little warm. The longer you let it cool, the more congealed your berries will turn, and it won't bleed out a bunch of juice in the bottom. But we're going to cut it and try it, because I'm ready to see what our blueberries ended up like, our blueberry pie. Our Frankenstein blueberry pie. But it still looks pretty good. Homemade recipe. Homemade crust. And this is where I'm going to probably destroy this pie, trying to cut it and get it out of here. But that's okay. Let's see if I want to do the traditional. Yeah, I can see it's still a little more liquidy. I should probably let this thing wait till tomorrow, but I'm not. If I let it wait till tomorrow, this pie will come out nice and one good piece and no liquid. That's okay. I'm going to see what we get. Let's see if I can get that underneath there. Is it in the shop there? Okay. That's not bad. Left some of the pie down in there, but it's not as liquidy as I thought. Look at that. It would have probably come out a lot easier had I let this thing go overnight. But there ain't no way to let this pie go till overnight. So we're going to try it. Let you... Good gracious. Now that is a good pie. It's not too overly sweet. You still get a little tart of the berries. The crust is just great. I like a butter crust pie, but for ease, you can't beat this oil and milk. It turned out great. I thought adding that extra tablespoon of lemon juice to help thicken up that cornstarch, I'd be able to taste it, but you can't. See how nice and, excuse me, sorry to talk with my mouth full. Nice and flaky and crispy this pie crust, this lattice work. Well, I'm going to call that a success. I guess the only thing wrong with that pie is there's not enough to go around. So if you want a real easy blueberry pie recipe, check out the Preppy Kitchen channel. And his video is called Easy Blueberry Pie Recipe, and it certainly was. And if you want a real easy homemade pie crust that you don't have to go through all of the steps you do with using butter, check out Bandana Grandma channel and her super easy oil and milk pie crust recipe. We have to give them a plug because everything we've got here turned out awesome. And nothing on this is perfect. You can still see the lattice work is a little bit crooked and broken. But this is a gardening channel, not a food channel. But all in all, we're pleased with the results. It's a great pie. And we just want to tell everybody, thanks for watching. And we wish we had a piece for all of you.